This bank alone needs to replace 15 windows at about $2,000 per window. They're looking at a $30,000 bill. This is the worst we've seen the weather all morning. The rain absolutely pounding us here. At high tide, it's hard to tell where the bay ends and where this parking lot begins. You can see water all the way up past my ankles.
Let's check out Elissa Harrington. She is out in the freezing temperatures. How you doing, Elissa?
Well, it is chilly here in Walnut Creek, and we've been keeping a close eye on the temperature. Behind me, 29 degrees, and actually that just changed. And what's strange is there was no accident before the fire. The limo suddenly burst into flames, killing 5 women who were trapped inside. It is coming down. I'll put out my hand and maybe I can grab a couple snowflakes in my glove. But we drove in here around 4:30. That was 3 hours ago. Look at our tire tracks. The snow has almost completely covered them back up. Good morning and thanks for joining us for Fox 40 Live. I'm Elissa Harrington.
And I'm Paul Robbins.
Lieutenant Clatt's been flying more than 20 years but says it never gets old, and how could it when you're doing stuff like this?
The Oakland Police Recruiting Department received some of the worst damage. You can see windows were bashed in. There's graffiti on the side of the building. And over there, a woman trying to clean some of it up. It is hailing, and look at this. I was able to catch quite a bit in my hand. Live in Oakland, where Occupy protesters are hoping to shut down the port. There you see smoke billowing from the garage where this fire started. Well, making a wish in this fountain is going to be a little difficult today because the fountain's frozen. People are going to be ringing when those cyclists crossed the finish line. Several hundred took to the picket lines here outside the Kaiser in South Sacramento. They're all wearing the color red because red's the color of solidarity and also the color of both unions. Look at these tire tracks about half a foot deep. A suspected drunk driver veered off the road. This is what they were especially worried about. Look at the ground, all of these dried up leaves. You can actually see the roots and see how it was pulled out of the ground. I'm going to go ahead and turn on this spotlight to kind of show our viewers that fog. You can clearly see at least 6 bullet holes in the back window of this truck. Here's a look at that damage to the Crystal Geyser truck. During the impact, the side of its trailer was peeled back like a sardine can. Thieves ripped the pipes from the overhang, cut the wire, and then tried to make off with all of this. Here you can see workers with the Elk Grove Unified School District boarding up the classroom. At this point, investigators believe the fire started in this trash can, which at the time was leaning against the building. Well, Liz, Apple has had tremendous success with Apple stores like this one. Fans sitting in the front row can actually see the game because they lowered the field 4 feet. Now you can look over the players' heads and see the action. The friends and family members are gathered outside of the house where 55-year-old Susie Coe was found dead. This is where the chase ended. The taxi is right behind me, and it was still moving when the suspect jumped out. Police killed a 23-year-old man who brandished an airsoft pellet gun. Officers thought this was a real firearm and that man was going to shoot them. They unloaded more than 30 rounds, killing the driver and injuring the passenger. The CHP officer was attempting to pull in front of that disabled vehicle when he was struck from behind by a packed SUV filled with a family of 6. A man was shot and killed while the suspects were trying to carjack him. In front of the 7-Eleven is a small memorial for San Jose resident 22-year-old Rory Park Pettiford. That pipe was very, very old. It failed and pumped thousands of gallons of water into this neighborhood. When the 49ers were announced, rally towels were waving. Good morning, Frank. We are on Sharon Drive in West San Jose. The fire broke out around 2 a.m. and it took firefighters an hour just to get it under control. With me now, I do have Fire Captain Reggie Williams with the San Jose Fire Department. What more can you tell us? There's 2 buildings there destroyed, correct? To give you an idea of what firefighters are up against, some of the flames are twice the height of the trees. Now, our Fox 40 truck has been parked here for about 10 minutes, just long enough to run an errand. And this is how hot it is inside. This is all fresh powder. I'll kick it around a little bit. And listen to this. If I step on some of this brush in the grass, you can just hear how dry it is. This fire got so big because there was so much fuel, hundreds of these wooden pallets. And when they get going, it's like one big bonfire. You can see their tire marks. They backed a car into these shipping doors, went inside and took off with thousands of dollars worth of jewelry. I am standing here in this huge puddle in the Burger King parking lot, and I mean, look how close this water got to the front door. The county just got out here and measured this thing. The base of this oak tree, 13 14 feet across. This thing's absolutely huge. You can see for yourself. And when it fell yesterday afternoon, it scattered debris about 200 feet throughout this neighborhood. This right here is a good example of why you want to clear any leaves or debris away from a drain. Come over here and take a look at this car. Pretty unfortunate for whoever owns this car. Hope they have a snow shovel. But you can see all of this fresh powder. I mean, I'm walking right into it. It goes all the way up to my knees. And if I push it around a little bit, you can see just how loose it all is. This is fresh powder. This is stuff that the area has been getting over the past 24 to 48 hours, 2 to 3 feet last night, and over the past 2 days, close to 5 feet. They pulled quite a few things out from inside the business. Here's this big pile of debris, pieces of the ceiling, some wiring, even a vent. One other thing that's really interesting is that this company does have security cameras in place. They say they are working. Just one of these can cause a whole lot of damage. Look what one pellet did to the window of this car and to the body of this car. It's clear by this dent that these pellets, although small, were coming out hard and fast. So here are the cows, and there's the fire not too far away. That's why firefighters are on scene spraying off surrounding buildings to make sure it doesn't spread. The damage is so bad it's hard to tell what was even inside this store. Burnt ornaments, burnt Christmas decorations, and a charred Christmas tree. The burglar made a break for it. He punched out the screen to that tiny vent and wiggled his way out head first onto the roof. Now, Paul, what time was it when we poured this ice? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was 18 and a half minutes ago. It was 7:46 a.m.
Well, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Frozen.
Yeah.
Easy. All right, let's do it.
At least you're all geared up. Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
Nice. Good form. Really good technique.
Yeah, that looks good, Elissa. Good job.
There you have
Let's see how I did.
Oh, beautiful.
A Rancho Cordova volleyball coach was confronted for making players practice with duct tape on their mouths. Police say a man tried to take a flat screen TV out of the school, but it didn't quite work out the way he wanted, right, Sean? Modesto police hope a new sketch can help them track down the person who tried to kidnap a teenage girl.
A developing story from Midtown Sacramento.
A van has crashed into a marijuana dispensary. This is happening on 19th and S Streets by the Safeway there. Demonstrators say they have no plans to vacate. Marion Rafferty has the story. A suspicious fire at a Sacramento barber shop that opened just a week ago.
Sacramento Mayor Kevin Johnson is not taking the day off.
In fact, he's making it an on day by volunteering. Sean Bennett is live at St. Hope Public School. Sean, what's the mayor up to?